Right, in this video I want to change over the water pump in my Fracino Cherub. I've had this machine for 15 years, perhaps even more, and it's never been changed over. Just scaled it a few times, but I've now got an issue where when I try to pull a shot, it's as if it's stalling, it's as if it's backing up, where it's the coffee is actually not coming out of the bottom. Sometimes it will, but if it's a little bit finer ground to obviously pull 18 to 20 grams coffee in, trying to get about 36 to 40 out, it's just block it up. So first of all, we'll take the lid off. In fact, this needs to come off as well, so the lid won't come off. There's 4 screws holding the lid, which are Allen bolts, which are, it doesn't have a size on it, but they're quite small. You can see they're maybe about 4mm. I have taken this off a few times. I've emptied it of water, just about. As this is one of the older machines, the new ones don't have the tank like this. They have a square lid that you lift off. Which is probably a little bit easier than this. Right, I'll just adjust my camera so you can see inside. So there we go, that's the pressure valve. So if you need to adjust the pressure, that little bung comes out, and there's quite a large screwdriver head you need to, you probably can't see it, inside there to adjust the pressure. You turn it clockwise to increase, anti-clockwise to decrease. What you try to do is have it roughly 1.2 bar. There's a gauge on the front, which I'll show you, which is there. Then you try to have it to, as a 1.2 bar. It's a solenoid valve there, obviously your tank, and the pump is underneath this, but underneath underneath expansion, the tank itself, the water tank, and there's a shelf, and it's underneath there, so all this has to come off all the side. So that's what I'm going to do next. I think that it's all Phillips screwdriver. I hope it is. So let me have a look. In fact, I'll take this off just to stop anything else falling. And let me have a look underneath. It's the first time I've taken these side panels off, so I'm hoping that it's just these two and the whole lot will lift off. Well, 4 screws, sorry, to each side. I'm also going to have a quick look at the solenoid valve as well. So I do descale this, but to be quite honest, I've probably only done it a dozen times since I got it, if that. Right, so I'm hoping that this more or less just lifts off. There we go. Right. So let me turn this round. and I will show you the back where the pump is. Right, so this bit here is the pump. At the moment, I don't know how it comes out, but I'll try to work it out. I'm hoping it maybe just lifts off its screws in perhaps. There we go, so that just lifts out, and that just lifts out too. So there's the water pump. And so the new one hasn't arrived yet, so I'm going to just disconnect this, try and take it apart and have a look inside. Actually, before I do that, I might have a look at this solenoid. I'm just going to pause it here 1 second. Right, off camera, I took the front of the solenoid off, had a quick look, and it's a little bit dirty, but it wasn't too bad, so I've put it back together again. As I said, there wasn't any indication that there was any issues with it, so I didn't really want to mess around with something that probably wasn't broken. Right, so I'm going to be changing this pump over. I've got a new one coming very shortly, so what I need to do is mark these wires. So I'll put one on there, two on there, two on there, just so I know exactly which way around they go. Right, first off is to undo this tube. Now I may get some spillage here, but it's just one of them things. Right, there's the tube off. I'll remove the wires. It's easier said than done. There we go. There we go. And then I'm going to, I think, undo the tube first, because I'm sure this will come with a new one. There we go. It's easy enough. And I think, find my screwdriver, take this apart. I believe there's just the two screws holding this on. These are called vibration pumps, and basically they work by magnets. There's some metal inside of a coil, a magnetic coil, and it turns on and off, creating the movement in the pump. It means they're quite noisy, but they're fairly reliable. Right, so that's that off. So I'll put these all back in order. So I'm going to work out which goes where. So obviously this is for that, so I don't want you going to lose that. I'll put that back into place. No, wrong way around. That's that one. Right, so we have this part, this bit, this is the metal bit I was telling about, this is the magnet. In fact, there's the other part inside there, so they go like that. And I think that pushes in, there we go. And what you have is a ball, which I believe should be inside of here. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. So we're going to keep all these in order. Ah, there's the ball. No idea what size it's supposed to be, but obviously that sits inside there. absolutely tiny. And so if it's got any kind of misshape, it can get stuck or not seal at all and could cause issues. I'll keep all that like that so we know exactly which way around it goes back, just in case. So what I have noticed is that this pump is, show the details, I'll try and get closer there, is a 48 watt. And the one I've ordered, the one that's coming, well, you can say 2009 was when it made, so that's when I bought this machine 15, 16 years ago. So the one that's coming is apparently it's a 63 watt, which is quite a lot higher wattage, good 20% more, 25% more. So I'm hoping that that'll make it run a little bit better as well. So I'm just waiting for this to turn up by the post. It's supposed to be between 10 and 12. It's now 20 past 11, so it could be any time. And I'll come back to this video. Just while I'm waiting for my pump to come, I decided to have a look at the steam ones and take the end off. Now, I recommend anyone with one of these coffee machines, or any coffee machines, buy a brush cleaning kit like this. Make sure it has really small ones in, and the really small one actually fits perfectly into the jet for the steam. So this will ensure it's all nice and clean. I know you should obviously steam it as you, after you finish steaming them, we'll put fresh steam through to clear it out, which I do every time, but as I say, there still seems to be a little bit that either gets sucked up or drips in and does block it eventually. But now, you probably can't see this, but now I've done that, it should be a lot clearer. You can see the hole through there. You put a cucumber icon. I say just clear that out a few times and make sure it's all working as it should. There you go, perfect. Again, you probably can't see that very well through the camera, but I assure you it's nice and clear. Right, there's been quite a long pause in this video because this is the next day my parcel failed to turn up, although it was on 24 hours. It failed to turn up yesterday. It's literally just arrived now, so here it is. I'm going to open it up. It should be the new pump. There it is. Let's get the box. And we'll have a look and try and compare it. So, we have, so the old one was 48 watts. The new one's actually 56 watts, so it's a little bit stronger. In fact, it's 20% stronger, so that'll make quite a big difference, I'm sure. So now it actually has, which this one, the old one doesn't, 2 extra wires and some thermal sensor on there. Obviously I won't need to use that, so we'll just leave that as it is. And we'll get it all put together. Right, let's move the camera so we can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So we have the wires. Now I did mark them 1 and 2. I'll just put them in exactly the same place. And there, 1 and 2. Need to get these put on. There we go. That's be about right. And hopefully this will turn. We can put that in as well. So let's have a look. In fact, I'll put this on as well while it's off. I'll put that as far as it'll go. Nearly on. There we go, that's nicely on. Right, it's all in there. Just chuck some of these out the back. And we'll put this pipe on. Snip that up, and then that all looks fine, I think. Right, I'll put some water in, I'll switch it on and see if it works. It's not the concern. When you switch it on, the pump should kick straight in, and it's not. I'm not sure where that's going to be. I'm going to have to look into that. Maybe something to do with these connectors not fastened to anything to prevent it. Right, I'll pause the video there and look into it a little bit more. Right, I've run a few cycles through it and its OP is actually fine. I was probably just being a bit too rushed earlier to try it properly. But yeah, I've emptied a few tubs of water through it and it's doing as it should, cutting as it should, boiling as it should. Quite happy with it. I'll now need to pull a shot and see what it's like. Right, I'll step back up again and I'm going to pull my first shot on it. It's already heated. First of all, wear this off. I want about maybe about 20 grams of coffee. Got a quick tap on there. Just try and straighten it out, and this time I'm going to use my WD-T device. Try and break some clumps up. Okay, get right down to the bottom, break up further down, and then we'll move up a little bit. Of course I should have weighed it off again, but I forgot. That is actually 20.4. It's maybe a little bit more than I want. I'll take a bit out. See how that comes to. 19, that'll do. Just do this. A little bit, try and get as equal as possible. Level that off. Give it a tamp. There we go. Measure this. What I want is, so it's 19 in, about 38 out. So let's start the timer as I press this. Of course the timer didn't work. So I'm going to ignore that, but I know roughly where 38 is, it's about there. So I'm quite happy with that. You know that didn't really work. Turn it off if I can. There we go. Still your milk. So this is a latte, so you want the funnel just to the top of the milk. For about 4 seconds and then straight. Get a nice good swirl on it. Get rid of the big bubbles and just hopefully leave the small bubbles. Now, I won't be doing any latte art because I can't do it. But I can tell by the noise when this is up to temperature. And it's about there. So just try to knock the bubbles out. I've got quite a few large bubbles. Coffee. And there we are, the latte. Thank you for watching. So I just come back to this. I just want to show you the puck after I've poured the coffee. As you can see, it's almost perfect. No channeling, nothing at all. So again, thank you.